What's up? I'm back and I have awesome news. I got another dog. His name is Jackson, and he is sitting down right next to me. He's a little camera shy for some reason. So now I have two German Shepherds. Well, he's a German Shepherd lab mix, but he is adorable. He's so cute, but he's kind of a brat because he doesn't tear up my house to say, well, okay. When I leave for work, I come home and it looks like someone broke into my house because everything is everywhere, like everywhere. But it's only the living room. Never goes into the bedroom, never goes in the kitchen, never goes in the bathroom. It's only the living room. And he, like, there used to be a blanket up there, not anymore, because he pulls it down every single day. And he pulls things down from where they belong. But he doesn't eat anything. Like, he doesn't chew on the walls. He doesn't chew on the chair. He doesn't tear up the couch. He doesn't tear anything up. He just pulls it all down. And he does that because I'm fairly certain he's bored. So today I went and picked up a whole bunch of toys. But he's so cute. You'll see him in a second. And then Malia's behind me eating something. Stop eating. Jackson, come here, boy. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here, baby. Look at the camera. Can you look at the camera? Look at the No. Good boy. He's such a good boy. I say he's a good boy, but he's really not. He doesn't know commands. He doesn't know anything other than how to look cute and be a brat. And I got a new piercing in that ear, so headphones not working. Actual information on if you can see his face. So if you actually are planning on getting another dog, there's a couple things you need to know though. Like me, before I moved, I already had Malia, so I had to find an apartment complex that's okay with large dogs. And that was really hard. Like really hard. Like next to impossible, kind of really hard. Like I called like 3 or 4 different apartment complexes and they were like, oh, sorry, we have a 50-pound weight limit, or we're not dog friendly, this and that. And it's like, well, if she was a service animal, then maybe. And that's finally how I was able to find this apartment complex. Is I finally had Malia do service animal training and she became my service animal. So between her being a service animal and finding the right apartment complex, I was able to be able to have her. This apartment complex has a 50-pound weight limit for dogs, but they're very lenient. So I was able to get her in here, not a problem. And as it is, other dogs in this complex, there's another German Shepherd. I've seen a couple different pit bulls. Actually, I've actually seen 2 different German Shepherds. So I know that they're okay with large dogs. So that being said, having established a large dog in my apartment, when I went to the shelter looking for other dogs, they were already like, okay, we don't need to call the landlord. She's already got another large dog in the household. So we know that they're okay with this. So that was extremely helpful. And then going through the process of going to the shelter and checking out different dogs. If you do have another dog at home like I do, my dog, she's very not pet friendly, but pet friendly. She was attacked by a boxer when she was 2 years old, and ever since then she's kind of had issues with other dogs. She's always afraid she's going to get attacked. But when she lived with me and my parents, we had a black lab and we were able to socialize them and they became best friends. So that's like how I knew she's able to be with other animals. So luckily the animal shelter that I went to, they have it where they have trained animal staff, animal trainers. I can't remember what they're called. But so they have to have it where the dog that you're going to adopt meets the dog that you already have. And make sure that they get along and they're going to be okay in the household together. And that was so helpful. Oh my God. I was so nervous with Malia because she's always, when she sees another dog, she barks and she barks and she barks and she pulls and she's just so anxious. So with Jackson, he was a really lenient, quiet, doesn't really give a fuck kind of attitude. And I was just like, oh my God, this dog is perfect. He's freaking gorgeous. He's polar opposite colors from her. She's straight black. He's blonde and white. Like he's got white areas to him, but he's like a toasted marshmallow. That's what I like to call him. He's my toasted marshmallow. But he just kind of has like a I don't give a fuck kind of attitude. So when they first were meeting, she was barking and pulling and all these different issues. And Jackson was just kind of looking at her like, girl, what's your problem? It was so funny. But when they finally met, it was the best moment of my life. Oh my God, she didn't try to bite him. They just like clicked. Like they were so good. They were so pretty together. I was just like, oh my God, I love these dogs. I was like, I have to take them home. And so I did. So Jackson, he suffers from seizures. So he is on a medication that he has to take twice daily. Now, like I said, if you're looking into getting another dog, you need to make sure you're looking into a dog that's going to suit your lifestyle. Jackson, he was a good fit for me because I already have an understanding and relationship with German Shepherds, and I also am able to keep up with persistent medications. Like Jackson's going to be on medication for the rest of his life. Malia is also on medication, and she'll be on that medication for the rest of her life as well. So this is something that's nothing new to me. So that's why it was like, yeah, duh, no problem, not a problem. Like, and that's part of the reason he was overlooked. He was in the shelter for over 4 months at least. He came in with 2 of his brothers and sister, and they both got adopted way before he did. He was actually brought back a couple times because people just didn't know how to handle him. Now me, this dog's gonna be with me for the rest of my life. I love him. He is the best. So, yes. But big thing about getting a dog is living in the right kind of apartment complex. Like my apartment complex has a built-in dog park. So I just take them out there and I run them. They go out to the bathroom, they run around, and they get their exercise for the day. That way they're not just cooped up in the apartment all day. Like if you're gonna get a big dog, you have to walk them. You have to make the time to take them out and play with them and walk them and let them see the world. Because it is so fucked up to lock them inside a house for their entire life. You are their life. Do not sit there and put them in a prison. Okay, off that topic. He, like I said, likes to destroy things. So if you have a dog that's like that, what you need puzzle toys. It keeps them mentally busy and it keeps them from being bored. And as long as you're keeping them from being bored, then they're not going to sit there and try to destroy your house. And also being clean is another thing. Like if you're a really messy person and you leave stuff all over the floor, then they're kind of going to have a hard time differentiating between what's their toy and what's not their toy. And that's not their fault. The floor is their area, if you know what I mean. Like that's where they spend most of their time laying down, playing. Like that's where their toys will be. So if you're leaving your like shoes and baby toys and stuffed animals and things like that, then of course they're going to tear it up because they don't know which one's theirs and which one's not theirs. So these are all kind of things you really need to think about. Yeah. So just make sure you have toys, make sure you have treats. If you have a dog that's not trained very well like mine, Jackson, I've had to go to the store and they sell training treats. They're really tiny treats. That way you're not overfeeding them treats when you're trying to train. That way they don't get an upset stomach, because if you give them too many treats, they'll get an upset stomach and then they'll have the runs, and then there's no way for stopping them using the bathroom in the house. And that's never fun. Oh my God, speaking of using the bathroom in the house, if you're going to adopt a dog, make sure you have stain cleaner. I cannot stress this enough. Have plenty of paper towels and stain cleaner. Clorox urine and poop stain remover or something like that is like a lifesaver. You can get it from Walmart for like less than $5. Like lifesaver. That's like a must have. Like you either buy that the day you get the dog or you buy that before you get the dog. Like you do not want to buy that 2 days after you have the dog, because that is not fun at all. Yeah, just make sure you have that. And then another thing is flea and heart guard. That is very big. Like my dogs are constantly going in and out of the house, and Malia is hyper allergic to flea bites. So you have to have flea and heart guard protection. Heart guard is always awesome because it's protecting against ringworm and heartworm and stuff like that. And flea, like Next Guard is the one that I use for my dogs. You just gotta have it, especially if you have a dog who's hyper allergic like mine. So it's just like those are gotta have things. And then next thing is like trying to find a vet. Like most of the time, you shouldn't like it's not something that's like super on the spot like the day you get your dog you need to find a vet, but it's something you need to be looking into before something happens, because if something happens, your dog ends up getting like a cold or they're showing weird symptoms, or just if anything happens, you need to have a vet. So that's definitely something you need to look into, is finding a vet. Like right now I'm trying to find a vet for him, one that's going to be good, that's going to be able to know how to handle his seizures and what kind of testing he needs to have done because of his medication. So there's just like all important things. If you're gonna adopt a dog, make sure you take some time off of work, or like you have an open schedule. Don't sit there and adopt them and go straight to work, because they're gonna be so confused. You need to build a bond and a relationship with them. Like with Jackson, I went and visited him 2 or 3 times in the shelter before I adopted him. And then I adopted him and I brought him home and I introduced him with Malia and we were hanging out, and then I had to go to work. And I felt bad because I didn't make enough time to spend with him, but I knew he wasn't alone at the house. He had Malia, and Malia was going to be able to put him in his place. And I also had a friend come over and spend the night and hang out with him while I was at work. So it was like, as long as someone was here and he knew he wasn't being abandoned again, that's a huge thing. Like huge, 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 huge. Like, make sure you spend time with your dog, or someone does. That way they get settled in. Other than that, really, I don't have much else to say. If you are thinking about getting a dog, good on you. Shelter dogs are the best. Always adopt. Never get from a breeder. Breeders suck. Puppy mills suck. Always adopt.